Jonathan, 3 years in a row we've talked with you.
Absolutely.
Here we are post S5.
Yep.
Win or loss?
I think it's a win. There's a lot of valuable regulations there, especially the age of majority. We needed that for a long time. And you know, we've all been trying to follow that same standard, even though it wasn't required, but it's really good to have the same regulation across the industry, and it gives us a lot of stability. And for the first time ever, we're not considered by our government to be a gray market industry, right? Which is a big step for us.
So being told you're legal has value?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, we've always been doing what we're doing because it's the right thing to do, right? And but it's nice to see the regulators and the government finally get on the same page with us.
Now, there was some statements, potential statements Health Canada is going to allow. You saw those, obviously.
Yeah,
what did you think?
Yeah, I was actually surprised by that. I've seen on a Health Canada page as well, they're actually admitting that there's value in e-cigarettes. That's huge. I mean, for years they keep telling us, no, you got to get it approved as a medicine or we won't acknowledge any, right? So it's amazing to see them look at it in a whole other category of product now and say, yeah, there's a value.
A year ago, I don't know if we would have been expecting this.
I was not, no. Not the way they reacted. I mean, every time we got these letters from them, they would change the wording around. They would make it sound like we're doing something illegal.
So the future looks pretty bright then.
Absolutely. I think it's gonna be a really good thing for the Canadian industry and help it stabilize further and grow. And in the right ways too, like promoting it to actual smokers, making sure it's not promoted to children or minors. There's a lot more awareness. Even with ECTA, as one of the directors, we've seen a good growth in membership recently. A lot of companies have come to us at this point rather than earlier to, you know, they've started taking it more seriously about the regulations and what benefits we can provide them and understanding the labeling requirements, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's been, yeah, I've seen a lot more interest in that, and where in the previous events, unfortunately, it's been overlooked a lot by, you know, a lot in the industry. I think more of the shops are really looking to see, talk to the manufacturers about the label compliance, that sort of thing. So you're having a bit more serious conversations about the regulatory end more than just the flavor. A lot of the previous events, it's like they're looking at mostly the, you know, the graphics on the bottle, for example. That's usually what's sort of selling it, right? And in this case, there's more interest in the poison symbol being the right spot, the right size, the font size, things like that, you know. So there's still absolutely interest in the flavor, but there's a lot more interest in the packaging being correct as well. As
a heavy hand of regulation descends upon the industry, it becomes the topic of conversation.
Absolutely, yeah.
You were telling me off camera a bit about your concerns with regard to Ontario and the regulations. Fill us in on that.
Well, my understanding is the regulations that are coming in July 1st, we won't be allowed to go into a vape shop and test any juices. I'm not even sure that they'll be able to show people the equipment to help them understand how to set it up, how to fill a tank, the basic stuff. And it's not like smoking. It's not like you can go into your corner store and pick up a pack of smokes. You need to understand things about battery safety. You need to understand things about not getting dry hits, keeping your coils wet. If they can't show you that, you're going to have a lot of people who are not vaping safely.
So it sounds like you've got some concerns.
Absolutely.
Are you worried?
I'm worried that the new regulations are going to make it harder for people to get the right gear and use it safely to help them get away from cigarettes.
And now that's, you know, detailing information about the product. What about in-store testing?
I think getting the right juice is one of the keys to quitting. And I got lucky. In Ontario, you've just had an election and tossed out the Liberals who seemingly were not at all beneficial for vaping. No. Would you agree with that? They were not very friendly to vapers. So what do you think it's going to be like under a Doug Ford regime? Well, Ford seems to want less government interference. And for that reason, I'm hoping that he'll back off on some of the Ontario regulations that are going to restrict how products are displayed, how they are tested in stores. I hope it'll be a good thing.
Triple CR hasn't been 100% finalized. We've been putting whatever is required on our product for Marco Polo, but as a shop owner, I've been contacting all the manufacturers, getting their feedback. And right now, some are taking action now, some are choosing to wait. But it's in a way it's comforting, and in a way it's scary, because nobody really knows what the final requirements are. And the fact that somebody can come walking into our shop tomorrow from the federal government and say, remove the products from your shelves, is a little disconcerting. It takes a significant amount of time to get everything replaced. And every manufacturer, there's some consistency, but there isn't too. People have their own interpretation of what these requirements are, because no one has come into our store and said, this is what needs to be done in print. So it's a guessing game, in my opinion.
So to some extent, Health Canada and the other portions of regulations, they're still working that out, aren't they?
They are. And I mean, we've shown as an industry that we're more than willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, anyone that's operating in this industry legitimately is more than willing to do whatever is required. I mean, that's what it's all about.
This is not just a federal issue. This is a federal issue that's cascaded down to every province and every municipality in this country. This is not over by a long shot. But I can tell you that this industry now is more, I should say it's better off now and more effective now than it's ever been or ever will be.
We've talked to a lot of people that are key players in the industry with regards to e-juice manufacturing and retail, and they're communicating to us today a huge sense of relief and some pride about being legal.
Well, of course. I mean, who doesn't want to put themselves in a position where they know that they like to do something, and they know that that people are viewing it a bit skeptically. No, and they had been up till now, and all of a sudden they said this act is going to change, and it's going to be a tobacco and vape product act because we want to legitimize what you're doing. I think it's something that is pride-inducing, and I think people should be extraordinarily proud, Brent, to be a part of the Canadian Vaping Association. And let me just say this, you have done yeoman service on this. I'm just very proud of what you've done to explain this and to create awareness for Canadians.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. So Eden, it's like our annual interview here on regulations with you. This is the third year in a row now.
Yep.
Where is TheraVape after S5?
After S5, we've put in a lot of work to become compliant with our labels. So that was just months of work, even since as far back as October. We've only now finally caught up with the guidance that we've kind of found through ECTA. We're still kind of waiting though for Health Canada to give further guidelines, but we still haven't received that yet, so we're kind of waiting on that.
So was there a time period there where you found that the company didn't have the information it needed?
Definitely, yeah. You got to go through multiple documents to find out what you need on packaging, on labels. Thankfully, ECTA did pay a consulting firm to find that out for us. So for members, we were able to find that out, and we were able to update our packaging.
But this year's regulatory regime being instituted on an industry that had yet to be regulated.
Yeah, exactly.
How painful was it?
Super painful, because you don't know what's going to happen with enforcement. We're unclear about what is, for example, confectionery. We don't know. What is a dessert? Can we call something custard? We don't know.
So are those answers available yet?
Not specifically. So we're erring on the side of caution. We're trying to get rid of words like custard or pie or cake, things like that.
So for the business, what are the benefits of regulation?
Well, I guess the fact that we're legitimized now. So we're a legal product. We're not gray market anymore. We're not considered illegal when we try to bring up nicotine, which had been the case up until now.
How do you see federally how things have gone?
I think really well. I think the government in this process is quite consultative. They were engaged in dealing with both the CVE and other stakeholders in the industry, and I think that unlike a lot of other markets, we saw I think a lot of consideration for the positives of the product. You know, a lot of other countries that we've seen have actually gone as far as just treating them like tobacco and you know, adopting the same laws, and that wasn't the case here. Right from the beginning, I think the federal government looked at these products as being different and having unique benefits, and that's what we're seeing now in the regulations.
And they seem to have actually even taken an even more positive turn, haven't they? With the statements, I believe. Explain that for us.
Yeah, I mean, that was, to be honest, I didn't really expect to see that. We pretty soon after S5 received royal assent, we got statements coming from Health Canada basically declaring outright that the e-cigarettes were definitely better than smoking. And considering where we were in 2009 with their original statement, essentially saying don't touch these products, that was quite a bit of a gap that we covered. It's nice to see that doing things the right way and engaging with the government and trying to get a seat at the table with the government instead of just necessarily opposing everything that they were trying to do, reached a positive result for the industry. And I think the bigger point is for smokers.